the Tube Screamer. Probably one of the most recognizable guitar pedals in all of guitar playing history. This pedal was used by the likes of Kirk Hammett, Joe Bonamassa, The Edge, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and the list goes on and on and on. So I've had this pedal for maybe about a year and a half, and it's been on and off my pedal board since then. And the reason it moved around so much is because, truth be told, I don't really understand this thing. Like, I know this pedal is literally everywhere in the guitar world. Anytime anyone talks about pedals, they're like, oh, okay, so it's like a Tube Screamer circuit. Or, yeah, I just had this Tube Screamer on my board. Everyone's talking about a Tube Screamer. Everyone. And so, you know, I got one for Christmas one year, and I was like, okay, cool. I have a Tube Screamer. I can finally see what all the muss and the fuss is about. And so I plugged it up, and I mean, it was great. Like, first impression was amazing. Over time, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let me try something different. I tried different pedals, and yeah, like I said, it was on and off my board for a long time, and I just didn't really understand it. So when I did what most people do, and I went to the internet, because that's what you do when you don't understand stuff. So one of the main reasons I didn't understand it is because I didn't know if it was supposed to be like a transparent overdrive or if it was supposed to be its own circuit that's supposed to take over your tone. I was just kind of confused because I played both sides of that spectrum. I just never understood what it was supposed to be. So according to the website, well, I was going to say what the website says, but the funny thing is, it doesn't really say much about what it's supposed to be. It tells you, it says Alma's Tube Screamer is reissued that's just like the original in so many ways. Same housing, same instantly identifiable green paint, same crank and overdrive that makes it one of the most all-time classics in guitar effects. Cool, but like, what is it? Okay, according to Google, this is a guitar pedal that primarily functions as an overdrive effect, adding a warm and vintage style distortion to your guitar tone. Often described as a mid boost, it helps your sound cut through a mix, particularly popular in blues and rock music. It essentially pushes your amp's preamp section to produce more gain while maintaining a good amount of your original tone. Okay, so according to this, is basically saying that it makes you to cut through the mix, but it's also transparent enough to keep a lot of your original guitar tone. Makes sense. So I guess at this point, it really just kind of boils down to figuring out what I want to use the Tube Screamer for. Because, I mean, you got guys that, like Stevie Ray Vaughan, who use it kind of as just something to give it more push. I feel like that's maybe that's just what this pedal does. It's made to take your existing sound and to, you know, push it more. And I found this thing on, I think it's reverb.com, basically saying how different pros use their Tube Screamers. I don't know how accurate this actually is, but it's from Reverb, so I guess it has to have some sort of amount of truth to it. So under Stevie Ray Vaughan's little description here, he basically used very low drive with a very high level to push his amp from the verge of breakup to a sizzling tone machine, as they put it. Okay, so that's that. Kirk Hammett, he used the TS9 to cut through the mix, just like it was for. It also added some grit to his wah pedal stuff, and yeah, so that's kind of how he set his stuff there. Yeah, and this is like all on their website. It's kind of interesting. Again, I don't know how true a lot of this stuff is because as a guitar player myself, I'm always tweaking stuff just a little bit. So it's like, I don't know if these guys literally just said it, like, okay, that's it, I'm not touching it, which was highly unlikely in my opinion, but they said this is what they think their tone was like. So I guess it really just kind of boils down to what sound you're going for. I know a lot of people get a Tube Screamer because they want to sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan or they want to sound like Kirk Hammett or something like that. For me, I guess my need for a Tube Screamer would be because, yeah, sure, I want the Stevie Ray Vaughan vibe for my cleaner stuff, but I also want that extra kick for like my like rock and roll heavy metal stuff like Kirk Hammett. So I think I found a tone that kind of matches both of that. I'll show you guys the specs here in a second, but yeah, so what I have it set to is it's clean. Like for my clean channel on my amp, I have it set to where it sort of sounds bluesy and kind of like Stevie Ray Vaughan. I'm not trying to, you know, copy him exactly because I want it to sound like me, but it's close to that. And then for my rock and roll stuff, I have this as kind of like my lead channel. Like if my amp had a third channel, this would kind of be what got it there. So let's hear how that sounds. All right, so here's my settings, what we got going on here. We got the drive right about there, tone right about there, level there. And I'm going straight into the pedal, straight to my amp. Nothing else is in the way. All right, so here's my clean tone, just the amp. Here's a tube screamer. I feel like with this setting, just for my clean tone, it gives you like borderline AC/DC. I don't think it has quite enough gain for it, but you can probably get by with some AC/DC type stuff. I feel like this pedal really shines with the bluesy stuff, especially with the neck pickup. So now we'll try the clean tone with some humbuckers, see if that sounds any different. Yeah, I think the humbuckers make them ring just a little bit more. I think it's a little too dark sounding to be like your clean overdrive sort of sound, but it still sounds great. It's still like a fun little, you know, just classic rock sort of sound. All right, so for the more like metal, heavy rock stuff, I feel like it's less noticeable of a change. It's more of a feel thing, but it definitely gives it a little bit more just like kick. So that's just how I perceive it, at least. I feel like the chords ring out a lot more, and the chug, it packs it, I hate to keep using the same words, but it packs a punch. Like it just gives you little. You can see it in my face. It just makes me just want to scrunch your face up. I feel like it also makes the lead tone sing a lot more too. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, so I understand why people love the Tube Screamer. I do. It just has this sound, and it's beautiful. I don't know how else to explain it. But I do feel like I have a better understanding of it now. I think the whole point of the Tube Screamer, at least in my opinion, is, I don't want to say it's a blank canvas, but it's a pedal that gives you a lot of room to kind of mold it to your liking. And that's what I feel like all these great artists are doing. And I think that's why it's so popular, because everyone has taken this pedal. Because I mean, look at Kirk Hammett and Stevie Ray Vaughan. Those are two completely separate ends of the spectrum, yet they're using the same gear. And somehow, you know, it just goes beyond genres. It goes beyond like style wise. So I think that's why the Tube Screamer is such a popular pedal. But also, I am curious to see what you guys think of the Tube Screamer. Do you have one? I know there's a million other versions of it, but what do you think about the TS9 specifically? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And yeah, I love a Tube Screamer now. I am officially a Tube Screamer fan. But yeah, and also guys, if you haven't already, feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Spread this video around to your friends, send it to your gear nerd buddies, and let's have a good time together. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Love you guys. See y'all later.